What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Funko 411. And on today's episode, we are not opening one, not two, but three of the Funko Fundays Box of Fun from 2023 Camp Fundays. That was a mouthful. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so we've got three of these. We've got one from the Eagles, we've got one from the Bears, and we've got one from the Wolves. We do not have a Lumberjacks box, which is actually funny because that's the one that a lot of people are waiting on. But I actually had a delay with one of the Wolves box. So the Wolves box, I think, is this one. So we'll start off with that one. But this was the one that took the longest. These two shipped pretty quick. I know some people had the Wolves box get a little bit delayed, and a lot of people had the Lumberjack box delayed. We won't get into too much about the drama of like why there are delays. We won't talk too much about Fundays itself because a lot of other people have covered that. If you're curious about some of the other events and the drama, you just go search on YouTube. You'll find a lot of other stuff. But we're just going to open the boxes. We're going to see what we got, see what kind of fun pops we have, see if we got any of those rare hits, the ones that, you know, they're rumored to kind of have been pulled out of some of these boxes. But we'll go ahead. Let's start off with the Wolves one. We'll move these two out of the way. All right, so here is our first box. This is the Wolves box, I'm pretty sure. And I'll tell you, like, these boxes all came in an outer box that does tell you what the bundle number is and all that stuff. And if I would be lying if I said I didn't kind of keep an eye on those bundles, and I know sort of, you know, what's in all the boxes. So I do have an idea of what's in here, but I'm not going to spoil it. So I will move it over to the side so that you all can't see. But there's the box. I mean, they did a great job with just the box art and all that stuff. We'll take a super quick look at that, and we won't look at it again, but there's the box art. I mean, really, really great job with just some of like the little animations and some of the stuff that they did. But there's the box. So I'll move this over here so we can't see the pops. And it is the Wolves box, so I didn't get that wrong. And here is the Wolves pop. So this is our mascot pop. So there is the Protomoa Wolves 6,500 piece, and it is a really cool figure. It actually kind of reminded me a bit of I forget what the character name was, but like the raccoon that was in the Blacklight Battle box from last year. But still a really, really cool little figure. He's got his Wolves flag there, but there's that one. We'll put this right there. And then our first pop is going to be Storm Shadow. So if you've seen the Storm Shadow, you may know what bundle this is because this bundle seemed to be the most frequent for what people were getting for the Wolves bundle. Again, I won't go into too much of like the drama of what's going on with them delaying the shipments and kind of all the stuff that happened at Fundays, but I'll give you a brief little summary is that some of the more rare pops showed up in the at-home version of the Fundays box. So most of the time, or historically, the rare stuff usually is at the event, and then at home you get, you know, some variation of some of the rare stuff, or you may get completely different pops altogether, and they usually have, you know, some glow variants and flocked variants and all that stuff. But what started happening was people were getting some of the rare stuff at home, and it kind of discounted all of the stuff that was at the event itself because all of those pops that were supposedly really rare, 250 pieces, 100 pieces, all this stuff were actually, you know, thousands of pieces that were in the at-home box. So right after that happened, Funko basically seemed like they halted shipments on these boxes, and a lot of people speculate that Funko was pulling out those rare pops from the boxes and basically replacing them with some of the ones that were less rare, which to me essentially means that they actually produced way more of these in order to be able to do that without canceling orders. But anyway, there is the first one. That is our Storm Shadow. And then our next one is Megatron. So Megatron was one of the ones where there is a metallic version, and that was one that was at the event, and it was more limited, and that one is showing up in the at-home box still. But this is the non-metallic version, 3,000 pieces. So again, that's kind of expected. You expect to see a a version like this in the at-home box if they have a more exclusive, more limited version at the event itself. So, but there's Megatron, really cool pop. The metallic one, obviously a little bit more sought after just because it's a little bit more rare, but there's Megatron. And then our third pop is Polka Dot Man. And I mean, this one I'm not really that big of a fan of. It's not a character that I was really in love with. Not a movie I was in love with either, with Suicide Squad, but it's a fine pop. I would say out of all the boxes, because I do know, like I said, I do know a little bit of what's in my other boxes. This set was probably the weakest. And then our two sodas in here are going to be the He-Man Freddy Funko and the Big Boy Freddy Funko. So there's those two. We'll open them real quick and give you a quick look at them. All right, there is Big Boy. Pretty neat, not bad. And there is He-Man. Now, the biggest criticism with these is that they basically used the Freddy mold from the NYC exclusive Freddy from a couple years ago, and they basically just painted over it. So you could see like this is just like a smooth where his shirt is, and they basically just like painted on top of it. So it's not a new mold, and all of them are going to have this same look where they're just kind of giving up, giving the peace sign. So it was a little bit of a way for Funko to save money, obviously, because they don't have to have a new mold for all of them. And it kind of still worked out where they're just dressed as these characters, but you could definitely see it when you look up close. You could see that he's got his shirt here and they kind of just painted over the shirt, but there's those two. All right, and here is our second box. This one is going to be the Bears box. And before we get into it, if you have not subscribed to the channel and you're liking the video or you like content just like this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Helps me out because it builds the channel, builds the community and all that stuff. But it also helps you because you'll get notified when I post videos just like this one. I do a lot of unboxings. I do a lot of mystery boxes and soda videos, stuff like that. So if you like that, hit the subscribe button. We'll get into this Bears box. I'll say, like I said, we're kind of going up a tier each time we do the box. So the Bears box, I think, is a bit better than this one. And then I do know the third one, our Eagles box, is probably my favorite box. It might be my favorite box out of all of them. But here is our first pop from the Bears box. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There is the Funamuck Bears. That is the mascot. Don't Feed the Bears. 6,500 piece. Very, very cool figure. I definitely really like the mascots. I don't always hold on to kind of like the Funko mascot type pops that they make, their kind of character creations, but some of these are pretty cool. So there is the bear. I'll put him right there next to the wolf. And then I'll show you our first one. So our first one is the Freddy Funko Green Ranger Glow in the Dark. Now this is definitely going to be a popular one, and I think this will be one that's sought out, in the future too. They do have a non-glow variant that I think is maybe it's 5,000 pieces, might be 5,000. So in total, there's like 9,000 or somewhere around there, like 8 or 9,000, depending on, I think it's 5, but because of that, it does make it a little bit less desirable or less rare, because some people will just settle for one or the other. But I still do think that this one will be one that people want to hunt down because it's the glow in the dark. It's the more rare. It's the, kind of the cooler version of the two. But there's Green Ranger. Really happy about getting that one. The next one in the box. This one might be one of my favorite from the whole release. So this is the Spooky Space Kook, and this one is 3,000 pieces. There is not a different variant of this one. This was also one of the ones that was given out at Fundays as like I think it was 250 pieces, and then obviously there's another 3,000 of them. So this one I do have a feeling is going to be very hard to get in the future. Right now you can actually grab this one for like $60 or $70 without buying a box. You could just go on eBay, Mercari. A lot of people are selling them off. But with only being 3,000 pieces, not having a glow version and all that, I do think this one will be a tough one to find in the future, because I feel like, especially Scooby-Doo collectors will kind of want to hunt this down in the future. But there is the Spooky Space Kook. And then our last pop in this box is the Dwight Freddy Funko, 3,000 pieces. Again, another one that was at the event. I think Green Ranger was too. So a lot of these were at the event. A lot of them, you know, kind of going back to that drama. Some of that kind of negativity was around the fact that a lot of the at-home stuff is the same as what you saw in person. But there's the Dwight Freddy Funko. This is a cool one too. I'm not sure that this one's going to be crazy valuable. A lot of people, I don't know, with People Pops, it's Dwight. It's a popular Office character, but it's kind of a niche where I don't know if this one's going to be crazy expensive. It is only 3,000 pieces, but I could see this one still settling around like, I don't know, $80 in the future, somewhere in there, but not bad. And then our two sodas are going to be the Dustin Freddy Funko and the Raphael Freddy Funko. I'll open these up really quick and give you a quick look at those. And there is Dustin. So this one works actually a little bit better because he is wearing a shirt. So it kind of fits better where it's not just like as obvious that it's just painted on. But there's Dustin, and then there is Raphael, which again is very cute. It's cool. I do like it, but it is kind of funny when you see it in person and you can see that the shirt is right there and you can see the sleeves are right there. And it's just kind of like super obvious that they just painted over the same mold, but it's cool. I like the look of it. It's definitely got that like old school Ninja Turtles look. So there's Raphael and Dustin. And then we will shift on to our last box, which hang around because this to me, this last box, I actually think this one's really good, but I think the one that I've got for the Eagles is actually my favorite box. And that's even considering there is the box out there that has metallic Captain America in there. That's a great box, but I actually think the one I got, this next one is better. I think it has better overall pops in it, but we'll go ahead and get into that box right now and we'll wrap this up. Let me move these over just a bit so we can make some room. All right, and here is our last box, basically barely squeaking into your screen, but our last box is our Eagles box. Same thing, I'm gonna move it over here so you can't see everything I got right off the bat. And we will start off with the mascot. And there's our mascot. That is the Chesapeake Eagle. Again, a really cool little icon figure that they've kind of made for the event. I definitely like that they do these mascots and kind of like the teams idea when they have these bigger, you know, when they have fun days, and they did it for New York Comic Con also. I do like that they kind of do these team themes. But there's Chesapeake Eagle. Put that right there. Our first pop, I'll show you. I'm going to go in the order that I prefer, is the Freddy Funko as Shaggy, and this is the flocked version. So you got flocked Shaggy. You can see his shirt is flocked there. They do have, gosh, I think, is there two different other versions? I think there's at least one other version where he's just, you know, not flocked. I thought maybe there was a blacklight one too, but that might have been, that actually was at the event. So for the at-home box, it's just the flocked and the regular one, I'm pretty sure. But pretty cool, flocked Shaggy, 4,500 pieces. This is probably going to be like the one that's the least rare just because they do have multiple other versions of him. So like total piece count, when you consider like this 4,500, the other 5,000, whatever was at Fun Days, even though they're variants of each other, there's still kind of a lot of them out there. So I think this one will be like the least valuable of the three of the pops, but still pretty cool. There's Shaggy. And then our next one, this one I think is kind of a sleeper. It's kind of weird though. It's 5,000 pieces, but it looks amazing. This is the Freddy Funko Waldo, and this is the diamond version. I mean, look at his crown. Like that just looks, it looks amazing, but it is 5,000 pieces. They do have the non-diamond version, so it's not super, super rare because of that, but it is a really cool Freddy. I mean, forget the rarity, forget that stuff, forget the piece counts. It's a really, really good looking Freddy. It's very unique with the glasses. I like this one a lot, but yeah, I mean, it's in terms of value, because we do always talk about that on the channel and everything. In terms of value, it's not going to be worth a crazy amount just because it's a higher piece count. There are other variants of him, but in terms of what I like, I think he looks like he's definitely one of the best looking Freddys that they did this year, even though I'm not even like a big Waldo fan either, but it looks really great. So there's Waldo. And then our last pop is the Freddy Funko as Stormtrooper. Now this one I do think is going to be kind of a Grail status pop because there's only 2,000 pieces. There's no other variants. This one I think is going to be really, really sought after because this one is just going to be tough to get. I mean, that's just my opinion. I can kind of already see it based on what I've seen the pops selling for the secondary market, that this one's definitely a little bit more expensive to get. I mean, there's always going to be Star Wars fans, always Freddy fans. It's not the most like complicated looking figure, the most detailed figure. Kind of got the standard Stormtrooper body with a white crown up there that you can see. But the fact that it's only 2,000 pieces and there's no glow or diamond or any of that other stuff, like no other variant of it, that is going to keep this pop at a pretty high value moving forward. So again, talking about value, it's going to be worth a lot. This one will probably, I think, will be up in the $300, $400, $500 range in the future. Right now, it's probably already in like the $200 range. But in terms of looks, appearance, and all that, it's kind of, I mean, it's not really the most exciting. It's kind of bland, but value-wise, 2,000 pieces, no variants. It's a good one to hold on to if you got it. And then part of the reason why I like this box the best, this box, I do like all the figures the best, but I also think that this box had the best two of the Freddy sodas too. So you got Freddy Batman and you got Freddy Michelangelo. We'll rip into these and we'll take a look at those. All right, and there is Freddy Batman. That is awesome. That looks fantastic. You know, similar issue that we've talked about each time we've opened these, but it looks great. And then Michelangelo is my favorite, my personal favorite turtle. My name's Michael. I've said that probably only a couple times on the channel this whole time that I've had the channel, but I'm just partial to Michelangelo, so I do like that. It looks cool. I like the orange. I like how they've done the crown, different colors for each one. But there's our last two sodas, my favorites. But overall, I mean, we did really well on the three boxes. So, you know, the Wolves were okay. I think it got better with the Bears, and I think they really hit it out of the park on this Eagles box. The Eagles box was my favorite. But my two favorite pops in terms of like the look and appearance and all that, forget the value, forget what I think they'll be worth. My two favorite pops are probably the Spooky Space Kook and the Waldo, just based on like the creativity, how they look. They're kind of the cool factor of just the details and stuff like that. But I want to know what you guys thought. What did you think of all the pops? What do you think of the drama going on with everything with Funko and Fun Days? Let me know down in the comments. If you liked the video, definitely hit the like button. And then, as I said, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'd appreciate it, and you'll see other videos just like this one. Do all that stuff, and I will see you on the next one.